China has a new and formidable enemy. It is not a superpower. It is not a nuclear state. It's a tiny Baltic country as big as Sri Lanka. Population, 2.8 million people. What this country lacks in size and power, it makes up with courage. I'm talking about Lithuania. Their government has picked a fight with China, I would say a righteous fight. Things started heating up in May this year. Lithuania decided to quit the 17+1 Cooperation Forum. Some quick facts here. 17+1 is a forum involving Eastern and Central European states plus China. So 12 European Union countries, 5 Balkan states and China. 17+1. In May, Lithuania quit this forum. They said it was divisive. What started as a rift soon became an anti-China crusade. Lithuania has criticized the genocide in Xinjiang. They have slammed the crackdown in Hong Kong. In September, they asked all their citizens to, quote-unquote, throw away their Chinese smartphones. Lithuania understands China's designs in Europe. It does not want Chinese money or Chinese influence. It wants freedom and sovereignty. So what does Lithuania do? What many so-called superpowers have refused to do. In November, they invited Taiwan to open a de facto embassy in the Lithuanian capital. The embassy uses the name Taiwan, not Taipei, like in the United States or Europe. Lithuania also plans to open a trade office in Taiwan soon. All of this has naturally angered Beijing. So how did they respond? With threats and trade wars, China downgraded its relationship with Lithuania. It also expelled the Lithuanian ambassador and recalled its own envoy from Vilnius. Then came the trade boycott. Goods produced in Lithuania were suddenly getting stuck at Chinese customs. Multinationals were given a choice: cut ties with Lithuania or leave the Chinese market. Beijing also unleashed its wolf warriors. Here's what Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian said, and I'm quoting. Lithuania stands on the opposite side of universal principles which will never end well. Those who insist on acting in collusion with Taiwan's secessionist forces will eventually be swept into the garbage bin of history. Strong words there. China wants to sweep Lithuania into the garbage bin. But this tiny Baltic nation is standing firm. It makes you wonder, where is this courage coming from? China's 39th biggest city, 39th, has more people than Lithuania. 27 out of their 33 provinces are bigger than Lithuania. Their economy is 250 times bigger than Lithuania's. So why is it taking on this juggernaut? We can think of 2 reasons. Number 1 is history. Lithuania has always been a champion of human rights. They've offered amnesty to opposition leaders from neighboring Belarus. And in 1990, Lithuania became the first state to break away from the Soviet Union. So punching above its weight comes naturally to Lithuania. Reason number 2 is political convenience. Russia is spreading its tentacles in Eastern Europe. President Vladimir Putin wants to bring the Balkans into his security sphere. So Lithuania is hoping for some American support. And how can they get that? By making the right noises against China. Well, whatever be the reasons, you must applaud the spirit. On paper, it's a no contest, a Baltic minnow versus an Asian giant. But Lithuania is hanging on. And that too with little foreign help. The European Union is not joining this fight. When Beijing began boycotting Lithuanian goods, do you know what Brussels did? They referred the issue to the World Trade Organization. No diplomatic protest, no tit for tat. This needs to change. Like-minded countries have to bunch up. Lithuania needs political and economic support to keep up this fight. In fact, it is not just Lithuania. You have many examples to pick from. Take Palau, for instance, a tiny Pacific island, 18,000 people, 460 square kilometers. That is what Palau has to offer on paper. But its president does not compromise on principles. He says he doesn't even answer calls from Beijing. He lets it go to voicemail. Another example is Samoa, 200,000 people, 2,800 square kilometers. Earlier this year, their pro-China prime minister was ousted. The new leader ended up cancelling Chinese projects worth millions of dollars. These are all examples for bigger nations. You don't always need nukes to take on China or $1 trillion GDP. All you need is the will to stand up for principles and the appetite to fight. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.